Andy, you're from AKT Productions and you're here at IOSH10. What's a theatre production company doing at IOSH?
Well, what we're doing is we've been invited here to demonstrate one of our safety pieces. We run various different safety programs. This one was actually commissioned by Balfour Beatty for their board to look at the root causes of major incidents. So this incident is based on the Texas City disaster of 2005, and we've recreated some of the incidents so that the attendees can look at how decisions that were made very remotely from that plant impacted on safety.
So why is theatre such an effective tool for communicating health and safety messages, do you think?
I think theatre is particularly good at communicating safety messages because you're dealing with human behaviours. And as we know, something like 96% of all incidents are caused by behavioural routes. And therefore, if you're addressing the way in which people engage together, the way in which people work together, you're starting to try and get to why people do things in a particular way. And so I guess that's using theatre is the ideal model.
What kind of response do you tend to get from your audiences that you work with?
The responses are generally a lot of recognition. Most accidents and incidents, in our experience and our reading and our research, are caused when people are trying to do their best. More often than not, they're trying to do the right thing. But they might skip procedures and so on. They might do things because they think there's an easier or a better way of doing that, or a quicker way of doing that, a way that will benefit the organisation. So what we tend to get, the kind of recognition factor is, yes, I've been there, I've done that, I've made similar decisions, I've learnt those lessons. It's good for us to come together and share why we all do these things.
And also it's a little bit different an approach to health and safety training in general, isn't it? Rather than just talking, having a discussion, actually watching the action play out on stage.
Hopefully. Yesterday we were performing one of our safety plays, which is based on a fatality offshore. And we were doing it in a community centre in Alloa with nothing there, just 2 actors and a bunch of people on seats from an engineering group. And the people were absolutely rapt with attention because they were there on the rig, because they understood the pressures those people were under, the pressures to perform, the pressures to do the best they possibly could, the pressures of the weather and time and cost and all those things. They were there. It was very exciting to watch the reactions.
Is there any kind of company that you've worked with that has had a very good reaction to a production that you can remember offhand, or anybody who saw the piece and it really actually changed the way they thought about safety?
Yes, we've had quite a few people say to us that they either are going to or have changed their behaviours as a result. I've had people come up to me, we did some work for British Energy, I've had people come up to me from that organisation, from their contractors, with tears in their eyes at the end of a programme saying something like that. Very nearly happened to me once. I very nearly killed somebody. And I'm glad that I've been through this again, because it's reminded me, because I've fallen back into perhaps complacency, perhaps into thinking, well, no, I do that okay. But I've fallen back and I recognised that still I need to be more vigilant than I was. It's very powerful when somebody comes up to you and said, thank you for reminding me, thank you for allowing us to engage with this, because we do need to go away and think every single day, are we working as safely as we possibly can?
Do you tend to use real-life accidents or incidences to translate into theatre productions, or do you kind of use general things that can happen in a workplace?
Sometimes we use generic issues, or we create something, we make something up, but more often than not, it's based on something that actually happened. So we do tend to research it. Either it's something that's in the public domain, or it's something that a client shares with us that happened. We've been working with BAA on a program over the last few years, and they had an incident. Thankfully it wasn't a fatality, but it did involve members of the public, and they were so worried about the potential for events like that to happen, and they commissioned us to write something about that incident, and that's been used very widely to warn people of the danger of construction and the public together.
Do you think that kind of tailored approach to any sort of health and safety training is better at getting the messages across to a group full of people who are familiar with the circumstances and with the things involved?
I think a tailored approach is particularly valuable because you're speaking to people in their own language about their own challenges and their own problems. I mean, again, I come back to the fact that nobody goes to work to hurt themselves or to hurt anybody else, but everybody has a unique set of circumstances. So if we're working, for instance, in the nuclear industry, the pressures on them are very different from other industries like construction and airline or so. So yeah, I think it helps to have a tailored approach.
Thanks a lot for your time, Andy.
Thank you.